organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television news, sports, and weather source from the Daily Iowan. I'm John Dedcott here in the Daily Iowan newsroom to give you an update about what's been going on around Iowa City. Recent studies show that some colleges and universities tend to push students into certain majors based on gender. Daily Iowan TV's Reed Chandler crunched the numbers to see which majors at the UI men and women end up in.
Some majors weren't created equal. At the UI, certain colleges are heavily tilted in one gender.
I'm a nursing major, so there's clearly a big difference. I think there's 7 or 8 guys out of 84, 85 nursing students in total.
The UI Office of the Registrar issued a report showing how many of each gender were admitted to each college, and some comparisons were shocking. Engineering saw about triple men as it saw women, nursing saw about 550 more women, and business had double men as it did women.
I get picked on sometimes by the teacher. The teacher will ask them questions pertaining to guys, and I know that they would rather have more guys there.
But the UI doesn't influence these trends. UI spokesman Tom Moore said, "The UI is an equal opportunity institution. Students are encouraged to pursue their interests." Schools at the UI, such as engineering and nursing, have a very large gender disparity between their students. While there may not be a direct explanation, the trends do exist. Some students are just the odd man or woman out. I'm Reed Chandler, Daily Iowan TV.
And whether they're men or women, despite the recession, the job outlook is actually quite good for UI political science majors. Undergrads who graduated with a poli-sci degree made an average of $59,000 out of school, a ways ahead of the $41,700 that UI graduates average overall. UI students pursuing a PhD in poli-sci are also doing well. Over the past 5 years, 78% of PhD students went on to positions in academia, with 56% in tenure-track positions. Dean of the UI Graduate College, John Keller, said that UI political science graduates are more marketable because of the UI's emphasis on timely research and the wide range of the curriculum. And less than 2 weeks after announcing his candidacy, there's already controversy swirling around one city council hopeful. Campaign workers for UI student and city council candidate Raj Patel said UI officials pressured UI student government leaders into forcing Patel to resign from his position as UISG's city council liaison. Campaign workers speculate that UI officials were concerned Patel might try and overturn the 21 ordinance if elected, although Patel's campaign has said repeatedly that they have no intention of doing so. UISG President Elliot Higgins and Vice President Brittany Kaplan have denied that anyone forced Patel to resign, saying that he was offered to take a leave of absence to try and avoid any conflict of interest. And Hy-Vee has issued yet another recall on ground turkey products in connection with a previous salmonella outbreak. The company says customers should not eat Honeysuckle White brand fresh ground turkey patties with a sell-by date of September 18th for fear of contamination. Now, last month, the grocery chain issued a recall across 8 states on ground turkey products stemming from a possible salmonella outbreak at a Cargill plant in Arkansas. In all, Cargill has voluntarily recalled nearly 36 million pounds of ground turkey in connection with the outbreak. And students at West High took to the air on Monday without ever leaving the classroom, thanks to some new technology designed to get students excited about engineering. Daily Iowan TV's Jeff Shane takes a look at this unique new way of learning.
You just get to play video games in school.
Most high school classes entail reading a book or taking notes, but a program at West High School in Iowa City teaches students to fly an airplane. Aerospace engineering is offered to West High students as part of the Lead the Way initiative, a program designed to get students interested in engineering. Students who take the year-long course are given a hands-on opportunity to learn about an exciting new field.
It's more interesting, not as boring or routine as all the other classes. It's a lot more hands-on, and I guess it's a lot more than taking notes.
Not only do students enjoy the class, but also the college credit they can receive for taking it.
College credit is a nice benefit. It saves parents some money, and parents are happy, always happy to save money.
Now, to actually receive the college credit, students need to get an 85% in the class and a 70% on a final. And apparently students usually do this with ease because they enjoy the class so much.
The ability to be able to work with a different learning style, being a project-based class, kids seem to like that, that type of approach.
It's clear that engineering is a male-dominated field, as this class only has 2 girls in it. However, they don't feel any different than the other students.
My other engineering class I'm taking right now is also majorly guys. There's only 2 girls in that class too. I'm not intimidated by it.
Another female student in the class thinks it's valuable to encourage female students to be interested in engineering.
Girls are definitely a minority in engineering, so once other girls see that it's girls can be successful in the programs and in the classes, then I think they can be influenced and definitely take them.
Regardless who's taking the class, one thing is clear, that students will learn valuable skills.
We know that there's going to be jobs in areas that involve STEM, and so I think it's money well spent for sure.
Audia says that Lead the Way courses are quite popular with students, and he hopes to keep up with the growing demand and offer even more classes next year. Jeff Shane, Daily Iowan TV.
And it couldn't be a better time to learn about planes, as this is National Aerospace Week. Governor Terry Branstad will travel to Asia this week to work on improving trade relations and encourage Asian investment in Iowa. The trip will take Branstad to South Korea, Japan, and China, where Branstad will meet with the Vice President of China, Xi Jinping, in a rare meeting between a U.S. governor and a top Chinese official. According to the U.S.-China Business Council, exports from Iowa to China have actually increased by nearly 1,300% from 2000 to 2010. And ahead of the big Tea Party debate, there was some big news in the world of GOP presidential candidates on Monday. And Governor Rick Perry picked up endorsements from former Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal and former Governor of Minnesota Tim Pawlenty, who actually dropped out of the race after a poor showing in the Ames straw poll. Monday's Tea Party debate was seen as a crucial event by analysts for those second-tier candidates hoping to remain relevant in the race. And now for all the latest in Hawkeye sports, let's send it over to Daily Iowan TV Sports Director Jake Abrams at the Daily Iowan Sports Desk. Jake?
All right, thanks, John. Over the next few weeks, the UI softball team will be back in action for a short period of time. Daily Iowan TV's Andy Satowski tells us why a little fall ball is important.
The Iowa softball team kicked off its fall season this last Friday night as they faced off against the Iowa Central Community College Tritons. This was the first of 8 total fall games that the Hawks will play this season, and the team was eager to be back at Pearl Field in front of their home crowd and some very excited Hawkeye fans. The Hawks were behind for the most part of the game after a slow start, but they made a comeback to take the W, beating Iowa Central 5-8. It was key runs that left head coach Marla Looper overall feeling pleased with the team's effort and ability to work together.
For our first game out after 3 practices, I thought it went well. Took us a little while to get warmed up and kind of get in the groove and get the nerves out, but once we did, we settled in and kind of just played our game. We didn't have too much of a game plan going in, not much of a scheme. It was just kind of free it up and just see what we're made of.
Now, even though tonight's season opener and the rest of the games this fall are just for exhibition, these Hawkeyes are taking them very seriously, hoping that it'll help prepare them for the spring season ahead. I'm Annie Satowski, DITV Sports.
All right, thanks, Annie. Now, many students are involved in club sports, but one club sport in particular has grown tremendously since the start of the 2011 year. Daily Iowan TV's Nick Robertson has the story.
Every weeknight, members of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club go to the field house to practice one of the fastest-growing sports in America. The club itself is a reflection of that trend.
The club has grown from probably 10 or 15 people at the beginning, and I think look around today, we probably got about 40 people in here. So,
the club was started in 2003 and has grown steadily ever since. Much like its growing popularity, the reasons for taking up the martial art has evolved as well.
To me, it's started off as kind of a self-defense system, and then it's kind of evolved into a sport, and that's pretty much what we do is the sport part of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That sport aspect has led the club to compete in major events around the nation.
We actively compete all around the Midwest. There's several large tournaments every year in Chicago that we've done very well at in the past. There's also been tournaments as close as Davenport, and we've had guys travel as far away as Las Vegas and California, so we try to get out there as much as we can.
And if nothing else, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has proven to be a great way to stay in shape.
This is a different kind of workout than you're going to get anywhere else. I can go run a 5K and barely break a sweat, but coming in here and doing 30 minutes of straight rolling, that's a good workout.
Like most University of Iowa clubs, they are always looking for new members, and for anyone who is still unsure if this is something for them, the instructors have a few words of advice.
Don't wait. A lot of the times, you get that in your head. You see it, you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, maybe next year, and my schedule's a little bit tight, but just get in here. The sooner the better, you'll fall in love with it.
Nick Robertson, Daily Iowa TV, Sports.
All right, thanks, Nick. Now, college football has seen a lot of changes in recent years regarding rules and realignment, but the biggest change that is trending right now is the uniforms. Daily Iowa TV's Shane Carney has more.
Back in 1996, the University of Oregon signed with Nike to design their football uniforms. Since then, the Oregon football team has taken the field on Saturdays in uniforms that has caught everybody's eyes, including other schools who have also gone with uniform changes, such as Maryland, Boise State, and Georgia, just to name a few. When Iowa head coach Kurt Ferentz was asked if he had been addressed or given any thought of uniform changes, his opinion was clear.
I think that's no and no.
Ferentz said he hears his players talk about the uniform trend, but he still likes a more traditional uniform his team wears now.
That's great, but I really like our uniforms. I think they look outstanding. That's one thing I will say that we have. We have sharp uniforms, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I mean, what do you expect?
During the Kurt Ferentz era, the Hawkeyes have switched up their uniforms just twice. Both were officially titled throwback games. One was last year in 2010, and the other was back in 2004. I'm Shane Carney, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
All right, thanks, Shane. And real quick, Sean Prater's interception return for 89 yards last week against Tennessee Tech was nominated for the 2011 Geico Play of the Year. Make sure to tune into CBS on November 25th to see if Sean's play beat out the rest. That's your Hawkeye Sports Update. John, back to you.
Thanks, Jake. Not only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Tuesday's pages of the Daily Iowan, be sure to read about the candidates vying for positions on the Iowa City School Board. Plus, Daily Iowan Sports will have the latest on what changes head football coach Kirk Ferentz plans on making to avoid another loss on Saturday. And here's a quick look at Monday's weather forecast. Tomorrow should be a nice one with a high of 72 and sunny skies expected. Looking at an overnight low of 62 as well. Looking ahead to the week, temperatures are definitely going to drop off. A high of 61 on Wednesday and just 59 on Thursday before we'll see a little warm up heading into the weekend. Good news though is there's no rain expected throughout the week. And that's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time or check us out anytime online at dailyiowan.com. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm John Dedcott. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.